What does it mean to take risks when you're a mother and the stakes are more than just financial? I'm Danusia Malina-Derben, and today I'm joined by entrepreneur Colleen Wong, founder of My Gator Watch. She built her business with 4 kids in tow and a hacker attack from a government body in her rearview mirror. Colleen talks candidly about being risk-tolerant but not reckless, guilt-free but not detached. She shares how she made bold choices without romanticizing burnout, why flexible working isn't just a perk but a business strategy, and what it takes to build something real when the margins for error feel razor thin. This is a conversation about risk, resilience, and redefining what it means to lead as a woman without pretending your kids don't exist. Let's get into it. Colleen, welcome.
Hi, Danusia. Thanks for having me.
What's your take on risk in general? Do you think women are less risky?
I would say that women tend to be more risk averse. However, that being said, there are women out there who love risk or who understand calculated risk.
Do you think that it's because risk as we know it is a kind of male construct, and so we're seeing risk in a certain lens, whereas actually women take risk, it's just not perceived as risk?
That's a good question. I grew up loving, to take risks, but it was always in a calculated way. So I would not be afraid so much to do things where I wouldn't know the outcome, but I would assess it first before, jumping in to doing it.
Yeah, such a good distinction. Really good distinction, isn't it? Because it's not that you didn't like the risk, it's just that you had to be measured and do that whole calculation of... What were you calculating, by the way?
So, for example, starting this business, it wasn't me kind of thinking, oh, I have a great product, I'm going to put in a ton of money to start it. I did a lot of research and I assessed, repeatedly my own financial situation to ensure that even if it did fail, I would be okay. My family would be okay. And I find that that's not always the case. But sometimes when you're really passionate or excited about an idea, it's all in. And it's great, to have that passion. But I think as well, that is very risky. If you're putting something all in without any research, for example, and driven purely by passion, that is very risky. And I also don't think that's the right way to go either.
Yeah, there are other ways surely to follow a passion than putting everything on the line for it.
Yes, agreed. And it sounds very common sense would tell you that. However, funnily enough, when I talk to a lot of people, that's not really the case. But once they have an idea and their mind is just really focused on that idea, everything else like common sense goes out the window for some reason.
I think we can see it in business where people get blinded by that passion and they're taking unnecessary risks. So maybe we're just logical. I mean, would you have behaved any differently in terms of the risk if you weren't a mother, for instance?
I think I would have done things differently. I would have definitely taken more risks if I wasn't a mother. Yeah, so I'm generally, I like risk. I can handle risk. I can handle the failure that comes with an idea. But having children is a totally different ballgame because you know that whatever you do, and if you fail spectacularly, they still have to be cared for.
Yeah.
So that has to be taken into consideration. Like if I was on my own and I completely failed and had to start all over again, that's fine. I'm on my own. I can do it. But with the kids, I can't. They still need their food paid for, school uniforms, all this other stuff, right?
That's really hard to do. That's very, very interesting. So what's the biggest failure that has taught you something in life, Colleen?
Well, when I first started the business, my business was hacked by a government body.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was horrifying because I had no idea what it was like to be hacked. It was all over national and international media.
Wow.
And so it was a huge shock to the system. And I do a lot of, again, with my view on calculated risk, I tried to foresee issues that may happen, but I never, ever foresaw this one happening. And so bouncing back from this was difficult. I wasn't even sure if I could, because when the headline came out, customers and suppliers, they were all like, what's going on? I had my side of the story, but no one wants to hear it. They just read the headlines. They're like, well, if BBC reports it, therefore it is true. And so Yeah, I think that would be the biggest thing that has ever happened to me that I've had to deal with.
How did you bounce back from that?
The very first thing I did was I just told my customers exactly that. My investors, my customers, my suppliers. I said, look, we've been hacked. Nothing has been taken. No data has been breached. And this is what I had done in order to prevent this. However, this is still what has happened. And I offered actually all the customers a full refund on the watch. And I said, I thought it was the right thing to do. If people were going to be scared, they should have the right to do that. And the crazy thing was, I was so scared and so nervous to send this email because I'm like, this could be the end of the business because everyone is going to come and ask for a refund. That never happened. I had thousands of customers and 3 people asked for a refund.
Wow.
And what I had learned from that experience is that, if you are honest and react quickly and have a communication channel between yourself and the customers, you can always bounce back.
That's great.
Yeah.
What an experience, though. Oh, that must have been hellish.
It was absolutely horrifying. I do not wish that on anyone.
I have a question about the way that you run MyGator. There's an awful lot of mothers in your business. Am I right?
Yes, that's right.
How do you navigate as a company, the school holidays, pickups, that kind of all those premium times that us mothers experience, that we all know about? How do you do that? I'm curious.
So I've set up the business so that everyone can work flexibly. What that means is they can work basically off their mobile phones. They can work during any time of the day they want for certain positions. So give you an example. So customer service is the most important department for us. We have to be super quick and responsive to our customers. And so I have 2 mums. There's 4 mums on the customer service team, and they're all mums of children under 10.
Mm-hmm.
2 mums are based in the UK and 2 mums are based in Canada. So because I have this 2 splits, the holidays are different. The 2 in the UK have similar holidays. However, I just basically say to them, look, talk amongst yourselves, discuss your holiday plans, and just always make sure that someone is available on a particular day. And I just leave it up to them, really. So I think the key to success with the team is that I give them basically full autonomy to manage their own schedules and just to talk amongst each other rather than me dictating who should work when. I just see it as, moms are fantastic at managing schedules. And so I just leave them to it to manage their schedule.
I think it's absolutely brilliant. And of course, us mothers are extraordinary at logistical issues and all of that. And it's manageable in a team of 4 in customer service, but how would you scale that up?
I would just have to keep going. I don't know. I mean, my dream is to have a business run solely with flexible working stuff. I don't believe in FaceTime. I don't believe in the 9 to 5. What I believe in is that if a parent doesn't feel guilty about not having enough time with their children or not having enough time for work, if we can just bin the guilt, their productivity will be sky high. And so just using that theory, that's how I'd want to build the business. So I don't know, but so far, it's been working fabulously.
So let's go back to guilt. How guilty are you on a 0 to 10? 10 being terribly guilty, by the way.
I'd say 1.
Yay, that's brilliant.
Yeah, I have no guilt.
Mm-hmm.
It's really crazy. Like, people ask me this and I always say the same thing. And they're like, how? How do you not feel guilty about stuff? I just don't.
Is it that you have decided you don't do guilt, which is a very different thing? Because when there is something that we could take part in, but we've decided not to do it, then it isn't part of our life. Or do you feel guilt, but do you experience it, but it's at a very, very low level?
Well, I don't know.
That's very different.
I don't know. I've never really thought about it, but, do I ever, kind of sit back and think, oh my gosh, I feel so guilty. I can't be at, my kids' thing, or, I can't spend more time with my kids. I've never, ever thought that. I work from home. So I bring them to school and I pick them up from the childminders. I drop them off at 9, pick them up at 5. And so I do see them every day. I spend a few hours with them in the evening. And I do my best. I just do my best when I'm with them with my mother hat on. And yes, I send them, to school and for care, perhaps a little bit longer than average. But I feel no guilt because I love what I do work-wise. And I honestly believe that if I am happy, they will be happy. It's just always something that I've really believed in. So I just do my thing, 9 to 5, sometimes in the evenings if I have to. When I spend the time that I have with them, I spend it wisely. We have a lot of fun, and that's it. I just don't feel guilty about it.
What I hear you saying is that you're at peace with your choices.
Yeah, I am.
Do you actually feel like you wear hats? The mother hat, the entrepreneur or working mum hat, or working woman? What would they be?
Probably entrepreneur hat, mum hat, me hat.
Does it help you to segment in life in terms of time and what you focus on to do that?
It's not something that I consciously do. I think the entrepreneur hat is like almost always on. I just can't take it off. Let's say I'm working during the day. If I get a call from the school, I'm there. I'm out the door. It's not something I think about. I just kind of manage it accordingly and whatever takes priority, I guess, at that time.
Well, it sounds like you have a very integrated identity rather than shifting, compartmentalizing between, it's 5 o'clock onwards now, I become mummy from 9 to 4:35 or 4:40, whatever it is. I'm working, I'm entrepreneur. Some people do that. One of the things about this podcast is that we hear very different ways that people live and women live and the way that they navigate, living multiply layered lives, which we all do. And it sounds like yours is very integrated and available to you at any moment. But one of the things that I'm hearing is that you're present where you're present.
And, that has its own flexibility as well. Nothing is really ever set in stone. So even there are times when, let's say I am with my children and I am making them dinner, but something with work comes in that's urgent. I tell them and I say to them, hey guys, I have to deal with this call right now. Can you just please let me do it for 10 minutes? I'm fine with it. I don't feel guilty for it, because I've already assessed in my head, I guess like I do with my calculating risk financially, does this make sense? Should I take this call now? If it is urgent and I need to deal with it now, then I do it.
Yes.
And if it's not urgent, then I don't. And then I leave it.
Yeah, got you.
Yeah, same thing with the kids. If I'm working or have a meeting booked in and then something urgent comes up for my kid, then I cancel whatever work appointment there is.
Yes.
If my child or the event with my child takes priority. And I guess as well, it's like adaptability, right? And change. So I get asked that a lot as well. How easily do you adapt to change? And not a lot of people like change. Funnily enough, I like change. I think it's great. I think it makes us see more, do more, understand more. And so that has helped.
Yeah, I'm sure it set you up well as a successful entrepreneur. I have no doubt. This adaptability and change and transitioning fast between things. These are, I would have thought, all part of taking risks anyway.
Yeah.
That ability to, transition.
Yeah, I think so.
You're such an inspiration, a remarkable inspiration to so many women. I'm sure you'll be a really big inspiration to our listeners. So Colleen, thank you so much for taking the risks that you do and talking so much about it, because we need you. We really do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the podcast. This has been wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Colleen Wong builds risks and recalibrates, and she does it without apology, guilt, or the need to prove she's superhuman. If you're someone who's been taught that balance means self-erasure, or that entrepreneurship has to mean all or nothing sacrifice, I hope this episode rewires something in you. And if you want more conversations like this, the ones that go deeper than the usual soundbites, search Parents Who Think Substack in your browser and join the community. Come be part of it. Till then, keep thinking and loving. Take care.